if this is a personal thing, for me, I take two leg. I actually stand more on leg stump, but I take two leg. Don't ask why, but yeah. So take two leg. Obviously, have a look around the field. Say to myself, take one ball at a time, get through this first ball, and then think about the next. Quite close, but then my front foot's a little bit open, and then I actually have a trigger movement, which I go back and across, and then my front foot kind of tries to hover a bit, but more on my toes. So yeah, I like to, my back foot likes to end on off stump, so that will help me knowing where my off stump is, knowing which balls I can play and which balls I can leave. As I move and try and keep as balanced and as still as I can as the ball's bowled. You don't really want to be moving like that and then the bowler releases the ball, because then you are prone to falling over, can get LB. Mm-hmm. So I think everyone's different. You have your own ways. Some people have trigger movements, some people don't. But at the end of the day, as long as you're still as the ball's bowled, that's one of the key things. I think it depends on the wicket. It depends on the pace of the wicket, who's bowling, what field they've got. I mean, obviously, as a batter, you're always looking to score. Sometimes there might be times where you don't need to score. You just want to get through the half an hour of batting and get to lunch. But first 10 minutes, you're probably kind of sizing up the situation. Is the ball swinging? Is it seaming? If it is seaming, you've got to adjust. If you got to. Some people say to themselves, I'm not going to drive for the next. I'm going to get to 10, and then I'll start playing a few more shots.
But you don't say that to yourself?
Just depends. Sometimes I'll say, well, it is seaming a bit, and I'm not really getting into it. So I'll say to myself, right, you're not going to drive now. Just leave, and then wait for a short wide one. Sometimes you won't get that. Sometimes you'll have to wait 50 balls. Mm-hmm. But if you're still in 50 balls, you've given yourself a chance. So that's important. So yeah, it is. It depends on the situation. Sometimes you'll be 20 off 20, and you'll hit 3 cuts and go off 4. But sometimes, like I said, you'll be 5 or 50. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's better if you're in than playing a loose shot, drive and get out, and you're in the hut, and you can't build on that. Yeah, it is. But like I said, some days it will be. It will feel natural to you. I'm going to drive that, but some days it's seeming a bit, and you're not really comfortable. So it can be tough, but I think it's a big part of cricket these days is being mentally quite strong. So if you can say to yourself, I know what shots I'm going to play, what shots I'm not going to play, that will help you knock it out. Normally, as a number 3, you come into bat and there's not normally a cover, so you want that kind of back of length ball just on off stump. You just drop it and run. Yeah. But you don't always get that, do you? So either that or come a bit straight and you can just tuck it off your hips to fine leg and you get 1 or 2. So those are probably 2 shots that I'm thinking. You don't really want to be premeditating too much, but those 2 are probably, I hope it comes there so that I can get off the mark, get down the other end and just watch the other batter face a few balls. Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite important because you can judge the pace of the wicket, what's happening, you can just get used to the situation. I find that if you're waiting for the short ball, it's actually harder to get out the way of it. So if you're kind of expecting just looking to forward and then react, it's easier to do that. And the way I play a trigger move might look that I'm expecting a short ball, but it's not one bit like that. Mm-hmm. If you balance at the crease, then you'll be able to go forward, and if you're able to go forward, you're able to go back. And when you're facing someone like that pace, you're not really looking to take them on. Well, I'm not, certainly. I'm just looking to get out the way. And at the end of the day, if you're not going to get out to it, then it's all right. You might take a few blows, but if your helmet's safe, then that's what you've got to do. Take the few blows and try and make him get tired from bowling those short balls. Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously with the technique I have, I do like, and I've just always been a favourite shot, the cuts, behind square, or if there's a few behind square, then try and get it in front of square, or if I have to, try and get it over the backward point fielders. You don't want it to be too close to you. You want to have the width. So if you have the width, you can obviously extend your arms. Also, if you do have catches in the gully, then you want to be hitting on top of the ball, kind of like that, which make the ball go down and hopefully into the gap. If you're on 50 yard and you feel safe and you'd rather go over, then you can still try and lean into it, but just get a bit more elevation, you can go over. I'm not a big flasher outside off. You know, a lot of lefties, you know, play those big extravagant drives through offside. I'm not really like that. I'd rather just get on top of the ball and just punch it through the offside.
Yeah.
I played one against at Trembridge off Ishan Sharma, who's come around the wicket and he goes across. So it was quite late in the day and I punched and I thought, whoa, middle of that was a good feeling. But yeah, like I said, you obviously want to get your foot to the ball. You want to get your head and your front knee over your front foot, and depending on how you want to play, but I'm more of a puncher, try and keep the elbow as high as possible and just lean into it. Probably 80%.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
top hand. The bottom's just more of just to keep the bat kind of stable and not wobbly. So yeah, it really is the top hand, and you know, if you time it well, with quick hand speed. And your middle, it's going to go for 4. You know, it doesn't have to be the huge flow of the bat. So yeah, a lot of it is the top hand and trying not to open up the shoulder and get that bottom hand through it. I think you just allow it to unfold. You know, sometimes you'll get more opportunities to score. You'll feel like that because you're in and you've seen the ball better. So you'll play shots that you wouldn't have played, you know, 25 runs ago. So. Like for me, like I said, I might play a few more drive shots. Like I might even play the pull. So, yeah, as your game goes on and you know the bowlers get a bit more tired, you know the field gets they spread the field a bit. There's more chance to get singles. There's more chance to get twos, and then you pick up on those bad balls quicker than you would earlier in your innings, and you find the gaps easier. So try to get outside off, and then try and change my grip, get my hands as high as I could, and then obviously get as far forward, head close to the ball, and just really use my hand speed to get through the ball. When the fielders are back, you want to clear them, so you think, oh, I've got to swing as hard as I can, yeah. And I mean, I do it, but it's the old cliche is, you know, try and keep your head as still and as close to the ball as you can, and go from down to up. And you know, if you've got the hand speed, then you'll naturally clear the ropes.